Hi Nicola, I'm Ashley. I'm sure you chose this building. It wasn't a difficult decision to choose over Madras College. What I want to know is what you can do to halt the group that's fighting against the new build for Madras College. The building is an embarrassment, it's dangerous, and it's not fair on our pupils' education to suffer the way they're suffering. We could have started building in March, and we don't know when that's going to happen now, so just want to know what you can do about it.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Alistair to deal with Madras College.
Thank you, First Minister. Ashley, you make an important point about the crucial role that school building plays in the education of children, in the sense of inspiring a school community for the future. You won't be surprised to know I can't really comment on a parents group or a community group in Madras or elsewhere. It does come down to local authorities to choose the schools that they want support from the government for school rebuilding projects. And to some degree, the priorities they set are for those local authorities. But what the Scottish Government can certainly do is help those local authorities. We've helped a lot of local authorities and a lot of school communities. 526 school buildings have either been replaced or significantly rebuilt and refurbished and completed since this government came to power. And the number of children and young people who are being educated in school buildings that are classed as either poor or bad has more than halved. Now, those, as far as I'm concerned, are very significant achievements. It doesn't take away from, obviously, the frustration that you're expressing about your own situation. But as you say, or as you won't be surprised to hear me say, rather, I can't really speak for a community group or try to offer an opinion about them.
Because I totally understand your frustration here, okay, and I think we all do. And I appreciate that often the frustration you feel about the situation is added to the frustration of hearing government ministers say, we can't comment on this. But just because of the state this is at, I mean, I totally accept your point about Madras College being in urgent need of replacement. Clearly the council have plans for a new school, but it's before a court, or it's going to be before a court, and we can't comment on that when it's a matter of judicial action being taken. I'm happy to have a wee chat with you afterwards about it, because I totally understand the frustration, but it's just to explain we're not trying to get off the hook here by saying it's a council issue. Because it's been taken to judicial review, we're very restricted in what we can say. So I hope you can, even if you don't like that, can understand that, and I'm happy to have a word with you at the end.
Hi, Tracy Buchan. Ashley mentioned earlier on about Madras College, and I know you can't say anything in specifics, but I'm wondering about the Scottish Government, and is there anything you can do to tighten up the judicial review process? Quite often it's used to hold back projects, cost people extra money for perfectly legal situations just because they're disliked.
Right, I'm going to ask Michael Matheson, the Justice Secretary, to answer Tracy's point. I thought it was a very good question, Tracy, and as government we're often ourselves subject to people trying to judicially review, or not often but occasionally subject to people trying to judicially review our decisions, so we can understand the frustration that sometimes causes. I'll ask Michael to say a word or two about not taking people's rights away, but how we make sure we've got a justice system that moves quickly and smoothly.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been concentrating on in recent years is to try and speed up the way in which our justice system deals with individual cases, whichever level of the justice system that may actually be at, including dealing with issues around judicial review. I think one of the real frustrations that people can have is that when a decision is made to go to judicial review or appeal any other type of decision, is the length of time it can actually take in order for that review to take place, or for the issue to be considered before the courts. So one of the areas that we've been taking forward along with the Scottish Court Service is to look at how we can speed up the process and make that happen much more quickly once a decision to go to a review or an appeal is actually made. And our Scottish Court Service have been taking forward a whole range of work under the Lord President in order to look at how we can speed up the whole civil and also the criminal justice system within our courts. The judicial review is obviously one of the safeguard measures which are there for individuals to be able to pursue in particular types of circumstances. Who knows, anyone in this room at some point in their life may feel the requirement to actually go for a judicial review on a particular point of law. So it's an important safeguard to have within our justice system. But nevertheless, it's important to make sure that it's a process which is dealt with quickly in order to allow matters to move on once a decision's been made on these individual issues. And a lot of work recently around the Scottish Court Service and through the Lord President has been focused on how we can speed up that process. So there's work already in trail in order to speed up that aspect of it. Depending on the complexity of the matter, it then is to the discretion of the sheriff or judge who may be hearing a particular case, or in this case a judicial review, one of our judges in one of our high courts. So it's an important measure which we have within our justice system, but what we need to do is to make sure we try and have that happen as quickly as possible, and there is work in trail in order to try and help to support that happening.